Welcome back. As we watch markets this morning, down 459 points on the Dow futures. We want to turn to the Mueller report fallout. President Trump took to Twitter this weekend saying this: despite the tremendous success that I've had as president, including perhaps the greatest economy and most successful first 2 years of any president in history, they have stolen 2 years of our presidency, collusion, delusion, that we will never be able to get back. Now, on Sunday Morning Futures, I spoke with former Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos and House Intel Committee ranking member Devin Nunes about the Obama administration's FBI spying on the Trump campaign. You're working for Ben Carson. You're in touch with the Trump campaign. Then Ben Carson drops out in January of 16. So you are left without working. You don't have a job. And somebody reaches out to you on LinkedIn. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was contacted by this company called the London Center for International Law Practice. I was living in London at the time. I was in the energy business in Europe, and they contacted me out of the blue. We'd like for you to come and work for us as a director over here. And I didn't think too much of it, and I went over there, and this company ended up being some sort of spark that ended up probably changing my life and the last 2 years of this country. Do you believe that the FBI had all of these sources out to entrap people from the Trump campaign so that they could claim that there was a conspiracy, that Donald Trump was colluding with the Russians?
Well, remember what I said on your show last year.
Yep.
I think I actually said, I think I said it first on your show, as I recall. I said, I'm not worried about whether or not they were spying on the Trump campaign. That is fact. What I want to know is how many spies with an S were involved in this. And I mean, and this is why we have to get to the bottom of this. Why all this information needs to come out.
Joining me right now is journalist John Solomon, who has covered this for the last 2 years quite effectively. And, John, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us.
Good to be with you,
We
Maria.
ran those clips of Papadopoulos and of Devin Nunes because we were showing a timeline that was going on. And I think it was really stunning that this London Center for Law Practices reaches out to Papadopoulos on LinkedIn after he leaves the Ben Carson campaign. Weird. Then we find out that this center has worked with lots of intel agencies, the FBI in particular, in the past. Right. So it sparked my red flags thinking, wait a minute, was this part of the entrapment? What do you think?
Listen, last year, it was a year ago this month, I believe it was, that I wrote a column called London Bridge is Falling Down. And I looked at all the curious origins of the start of this case. All of these contacts that are before the official start of the case. So the case officially starts on July 31st, 2016. But in the 6 months prior to that, there is an enormous amount of coincidental or suspicious activity, mostly in London, targeting Trump people. And that includes Papadopoulos. It includes Carter Page. It includes some other people that were reached out to in that time frame. I think that there are some serious questions. We need to ask the CIA. We need to ask Fusion GPS. We need to ask the FBI, what were their activities predating the July 31st opening of the investigation that were designed to prime that investigation to try to entrap people? That is the sort of question I think Devin Nunes raised on your show yesterday. That's absolutely right. And, you know, it was also so stunning to me, John, that in the course of 2 months, Papadopoulos had outreach from, you know, diplomats or intel experts from Britain, from Australia, from Italy, U.S. as well. So here's a guy who was working for the Carson campaign. Carson drops out. He leaves. He doesn't have a job. He gets a LinkedIn message from this London center telling them, go work for us. He actually takes the job. And then 3 months later, he says to them, I'm leaving. I'm going to go work for the Trump campaign. Right. And they say to him, whoa. Before you leave, we want to send you to Rome because we want you to meet some important people. And that's where he met this infamous Misfud guy who drops a bomb on him to tell him that Russia has Hillary Clinton emails. Yeah, listen, a year or 6 months ago, I had Joseph Mifsud's email to the FBI describing his contacts with George Papadopoulos. And either he lied or the FBI is lying in the Mueller report. We need to resolve what happened with Joseph Mifsud. Who was he working for? Was he working for a Western intelligence agency? Was he working with Fusion GPS? He is one of the key figures whose role and whose directions we do not yet fully understand. And I know a lot of members in Congress have a greater interest in him now than ever before.
That's right.
But you look at this whole time frame, it feels like a setup. Now, we need to do the reporting and check it out, but I think there are legitimate questions about what went on in the spring and summer of 2016.
That's right. And just to be clear, if we find out that Mifsud was actually working for the FBI or an asset of the FBI or working for Fusion GPS, that's a confirmation that this was entrapment, because he basically he tells Papadopoulos, oh, Russia has Hillary Clinton emails, with the hope that he's going to go back and tell Trump that, and then they can get him on conspiracy. So we'll wait to find that out. Meanwhile, all of this is being ignored by the Democrats, John. You know that. They're trying to rip down Bill Barr. They don't want Bill Barr to go to the origins of this investigation, probably because they know that there was wrongdoing. House Oversight Committee Ranking Member Jim Jordan joined me on that, and here's what he said about the treatment the Democrats are giving Attorney General William Barr right now. Watch this. My sources are telling me this morning that Jerry Nadler is going to mark up a resolution this Wednesday to hold Bill Barr in contempt.
I think they're nervous about Bill Barr because remember what he said 3 weeks ago in front of the Senate Finance Committee. He made 4 important points. First of all, he said spying did in fact take place. Second, he said there is a basis for his concern that the spying wasn't properly predicated. Third, he said there was a failure of leadership at the upper echelon of the FBI. And then fourth, he used 2 terms that I've never really heard before, and my guess is most Americans haven't. He used the term unauthorized surveillance, and he used the term political surveillance. So the Democrats are scared. And frankly, I think when we're talking about obstruction of justice, the real obstruction of justice is what Democrats are trying to do to the Attorney General. They're trying to stop him by all these things, this contempt and not having him come testify. They're trying to stop him from getting the answers that we just talked about.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear what's going on here, John. You've been breaking a lot of news on this. Give us your reaction to all of this and where the news flow is right now. What have you broken this weekend?
Well, in the last couple of days, we had a focus on the Ukraine embassy. The Ukraine embassy in Washington has now acknowledged for the first time that back in 2016, a Democratic National Committee contractor reached out to them and solicited a foreign power, the Ukraine government, for dirt on Donald Trump and Paul Manafort. Now, the embassy says in the end they didn't give the information to them, but they were very concerned about the legality of what they were being asked to do. That is a huge admission. That's far more aggressive than anything the Trump campaign was ever accused of doing during the 2016 election. I think these attacks on Bill Barr are all a sideshow. They're designed to distract the American public from the fact that this entire story is boomeranging, and we are now going to get in the current Attorney General a full accountability and a full accounting of what went on in the Trump spying scandal.
Yeah, I mean, to say that he lied, it was so absurd. The whole report is out there. What is he lying about? The report's right there, but they don't want to admit what took place. Robert Mueller's going to testify. What do you think? May 15th is the date they're talking about. Real quick, John.
My guess it is, and I think it's probably more danger to him than to the president when it's all done.
All right, we will be watching that. John Solomon, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir.